All right, and let's keep going. So we got a little bit more. I see Chris Epps is watching. How you doing? Let's see. Brandon saying, if we could go into the bye as a one-loss team, does that mean we are in the driver's seat? Or does that mean we have a tougher job ahead to keep the momentum running and run with it to the playoff? Now, if we do go in with one loss, that's going to mean we're undefeated in the division at 3-0. That means we'd be 3-0 in the division, and we definitely would be in the driver's seat, especially for the division. That's where we need to focus first. Win the division. Win division games. I think we would be in the driver's seat. Maybe not in the NFL, but we could definitely be in the driver's seat to maybe get a first round bye or at least host a home playoff game. But that's getting a little bit too far ahead. Let's focus on Seattle first. That's where we got to take care of business. Let's not jump ahead. You never want to count your chickens before they hatch. So let's focus on Seattle. But I mean, things are aligning for us. The stars are aligning the way things are going with Indy having their quarterback problems. Houston, we don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to be in. They just don't look pretty good on the offensive line. And Jacksonville is now Jacksonville again. So we got to really take attention to that. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any more questions. Thought on Fluellen. Chris Epps comes in. Proud of Fluellen for making the team. He had a couple of carries against Jacksonville. Looked pretty decent with that. If DeMarco Murray doesn't go, then Fluellen's going to get more time. He's helping on special teams, so he is definitely a contributor. Hey, how you doing, Pamela? How you doing? Let's see a comment here. K True saying we definitely got out of our element against the Raiders outside of the passes in the middle. I agree with that. I think we got a little bit too toy happy and we did not stay true to who we are. And I think Jacksonville, we got back to that. Chris Epps also saying, have you noticed different play calling and formations from LeBeau? Yes, I have. As the game went on, LeBeau had everybody standing up. So you don't know who's coming. And I like that. I liked how they started putting in some twists and, really disguising some things. Like they had it where you had more, they had it even in a formation where, Orakpo, Morgan, Casey, and Eric Walden were all on the field at the same time. They had it where Casey was lined up, Orakpo right behind him. On the other side, Walden was lined up behind Derek Morgan, and they twisted. I did like that kind of a Texas twist. I thought that was pretty good. It confuses the defense because you don't know who's coming. You don't know who is bringing the pressure or who's dropping back or who's coming from where. You don't know if one person coming from the outside or coming inside. You don't know that, and that's kind of one of the special things about LeBeau's type of defense. So I think he's finally getting to call some of the stuff that he likes to call. Let's see. Got some more comments. Priscilla saying, I think Taylor's pretty good. I agree with that. I do think they did great on showing the running game more than usual. I'm glad they got back to us. K True said I had us losing to the Dolphins before they got Cutler. I have to go back in my prediction show. You can go back and check that out. I believe I had us beating the Dolphins in week 5. I think I had us beating the Dolphins. And that was even before Jay Cutler, and I'm going to say that even after Jay Cutler. So, if my live feed goes out on me, forgive me, which it did. So, I apologize, everybody, for the live feed going out on me. With that, we're going to take care of that for you. And we're just going to keep going with that. So, any other questions? Any questions that that I did not get to? I will get to that off air, and I will get to that off the air, and I will definitely make sure I answer everybody's questions. I apologize very much for that. Okay, everybody, I definitely want to apologize for that little brief technical difficulty on the Facebook live feed. The live feed on that, I apologize. for that. Y'all know how phones work sometimes. Energy kind of went out on me, so wasn't able to keep it going. I thought I was keeping it charged, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do. So I apologize to everybody for those technical difficulties. If I see some other questions, I will definitely answer them here. But if I did not get to a question that you had, I will be more than happy to answer that off the air. I'll go back and make sure I get all questions. I'll make sure I answer everybody's questions as promised. I may put in a comment for that. So I definitely, again, apologize. But I did get a couple other questions from the feed whenever I didn't have any problem. I see Chris put down, he said, can you speak on some of the similarities of the defenses that the 49ers ran last week versus what we ran last week? Went back to watch the 49ers versus Seahawks game, and it appears they ran a lot of the same formations that we did against Jacksonville. Do you think we could be just as successful? Now, I'll be honest to say I was really paying more attention to what Seattle was doing, more or less than what San Francisco was doing at the time. So I'm not exactly entirely sure what what exact defense the 49ers ran. If I'm correct, I believe they used to run a 3-4, but I think they're now coming into a 4-3 defense with Armstead, Buckner, DeForest Buckner, and of course Solomon Thomas as well. So I want to say they ran I think they're running a 4-3 now. And so I really got to go back and I will have to go back and look some more at the San Francisco side, seeing exactly what they did. But what I did see was that I know the 49ers probably had a spy to look out for Russell Wilson just to make sure he doesn't break away and use big runs. But Russell Wilson is very elusive, and so he always tries to find a way to run, and that's something that we're going to have to definitely limit. But I think they did try to use a spy on Russell Wilson as far as trying to make sure he doesn't escape very much. But what I'm going to do, Chris, I'm definitely going – that's an excellent question, and I think I'm going to definitely go back and look at some film on the Seattle game with the 49ers and see where they did some things differently. Tyler, I saw a question. He said, you seen the bodybuilder dressed as a Titan at the games. What do you think? The costume looks mean, but it could use more color. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like the costume. I'm a 300 fan, so I like stuff like that, but I think I definitely like the mascot. I definitely like him as the Titan guy. I believe his name is Deion Harris, if I'm not mistaken, but I know he probably has a whole bunch of female fans now because I think he's going to mainly be eye candy for the lady Titan fans out there. So I think it was a cool concept, a cool idea. But I mean, T-Rack is pretty cool too. So I'm just hoping they're not completely replacing him, but just adding to it. Priscilla came and said, how do you feel about Suck Up? Suckup's a good kicker. Suckup's a good kicker. He's better inside of 50 than anything. I mean, he has shown he could kick a 50-plus yard field goal if need be, but with him, it's like we have to keep him inside of 50 yards, really get him inside of 40. He's probably the most successful. But I like Suckup. I think Suckup is good. He's come through in the clutch. Even though he might have missed a kick or two, he comes through in the clutch for us. And looks like last question, Tyler said, have you heard the rumor about Andrew Luck and not being happy? No, I have not seen any rumors about Andrew Luck not being happy. All I've heard is he's not playing again this week. So he's already missed. This is his third game he's going to miss against the Cleveland Browns. So I'm starting to very much doubt he's going to play against us on Monday night. I mean, we're going to be playing on October the 16th about, I would say, a little bit over 4 weeks from now. 3 to 4 weeks from now, Monday night, we host the Colts. I don't know if Andrew Luck's going to be in uniform. And if that does happen where he does not play, we have a much better chance of winning. So, in all intents and purposes, I hope he don't play. And if he's not happy, I will. That is that on that. But again, that is all for Pick My Brain. Thank everybody for all your questions. I would say, we've gotten more involved than last week. So that's actually pretty stellar. Good job by everybody on that. But let's quickly preview the Seattle Seahawks before we get ready to get out of here with the final question. The Seahawks coming in at 1-1. They're a formidable opponent. Probably favorites to win the NFC West. Definitely a favorite by some to at least get to the NFC Championship game. On offense, you got Russell Wilson. You got Doug Baldwin. They got an up-and-coming running back in Chris Carson. Chris Carson looked very good against San Francisco. I believe he had 94 yards on 20 carries, and I believe Thomas Rawls started the game, and Carson finished it. But I think Carson's going to end up starting. One thing we're going to have to do offensively is make sure we take care of the run, and that's going to also lead to my Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory. And we're going to do that in just a moment. But, yeah, you got Russell Wilson, you got the running backs, you got Baldwin, defensively, you got that front line with Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. Now they got Sheldon Richardson in the mix. You got the linebackers with Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright. You got the Legion of Boom. There's still 3/4 of the Legion of Boom is still there. So they are a formidable opponent. This is going to really find out where we are as a team. Can we take that next step? This is another part of that, taking that next step into climbing into the upper echelon of the AFC and of the NFL. So this leads to my Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory. Point number 1, and I've said this word a lot, and I'm going to keep saying it. Patience, patience, patience. Take what the defense gives you and slowly take some shots. Patience is going to have to be on both sides of the ball because just like, again, I said this earlier, Jacksonville's a good defense. The Seattle Seahawks are a better version of that defense, a way better version. So we need to take what the defense gives them and, don't try to force a lot of things. Stick to running the football and, use some play action, lull them to sleep. Defensively, stay in your lanes, stay in your gaps. Don't let Russell Wilson get away. You got to always be careful, especially if you think there's going to be backside. If you see the play going away, backside's got to stay home because it could come back. Russell Wilson could roll out. So we got to play discipline defensively and make Russell Wilson make some errant throws. Point number 2 is going to be, don't be scared or intimidated by the Legion of Boom. You cannot be scared of this defense. Yes, they're elite. They're good. But run the ball and then, take a shot here or there. Don't be careless with the ball, but don't be too careful. Richard Sherman, as great of an elite quarterback as he is, he ain't exactly the fastest corner in the world. We proved that against Jacksonville. Can't throw on them. Marcus threw a beautiful deep ball to Taywan Taylor, and he just flat out separated from A.J. Bouye. So you cannot be afraid. You cannot be scared of this defense. Take your shots when you see them. Point number 3, shut down the run. That includes Russell Wilson as well. Because, they got a good stable of running backs. Chris Carson, C.J. Prosise, Thomas Rawls, Russell Wilson. Shut down the run. And one thing that we have to do is that when we collapse the pocket and force things to break down, we cannot let Russell Wilson escape. That is his bread and butter. If he sees a way out, he's going for it. He's going to try to escape. Best thing to do is to keep him bottled up in the pocket as much as possible. Don't give him a way out. Do not give them a lane out, especially up the middle. If anything, force them outside where some help can get there. But you got to play smart and just play sound football. Tackle, tackle, tackle. That's going to be majorly important. Tackling is going to be a big importance in this game. And last, force them to pass and play the game plan similar to Jacksonville. Contain and pressure Wilson into ill-advised throws. And I think I mentioned that earlier. Just like how we shut down Leonard Fournette, start with Chris Carson. And again, don't let Russell Wilson run wild. Force him to have to make some throws. Force him to have to make those ill-advised throws. Because sometimes he's not exactly the most accurate quarterback in the world. So, force him to have to get the ball out quicker than he wants to. He's going to try to get it to Baldwin. I don't know if Jimmy Graham is playing this week. He's questionable to play. So we got to force Russell Wilson out of his comfort zone. And if we do that, we stand a great chance of winning this football game. But those are my 4 points to victory. Those are ways that the Titans can win this game. And so to end the show tonight, I had one last blue bombshell question, and that is your favorite non-alcoholic drink that you drink during the Titan game. Now, mention I said non-alcoholic. I know a lot of folks drink beer during the game, but I'm saying if you couldn't have beer or liquor, what would you have? I know Brandon came in earlier, said an old-fashioned Coke. Understood. Me, I would love to have me an Arnold Palmer. Sweet tea and lemonade together. One of my favorite drinks of all time. Now, if I can't do that, I got to have me some Sprite. I'll have me a Sprite even though I'm not drinking sodas very much anymore. But a good Sprite that's cold and refreshing definitely does me good at a hot Titans game. So that's my thought on that. I didn't get really too many responses on that. I'll probably post that out there. Maybe in the fan page to see what responses I get. Maybe I'll come back with a quick live on that one. But everybody, that's going to do it for me. That was a great show. Again, if you take a look above you, you will see how you can reach me on Facebook, Titans and Truth fan page, on Instagram, at Blue Enforcer, at Blue_Enforcer 1914, on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. And then, of course, last but not least, the website, www.titansandtruth.wixsite.com/TitansandTruth. That's where you will find all the blogs. I just put one in yet last night. Also, the latest, all the episodes will be on the website as well. You can leave comments. You can contact you can find ways to get to the Facebook page, to the YouTube channel. You can get to Rose Jewel Boutique through there also and everything. And also the schedule is on there so you'll know when I'm going to be doing something as far as the quick recap on Facebook Live after the game, the blog coming onto the website, and this show. So it's all going to be there for you. And so I thank everybody for tuning in. Again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulty earlier. This is your man, Blue Enforcer, and I thank y'all for sticking with me. This is Titans and Truth. Let's beat the Seahawks. Tighten up.